96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation. 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 The Foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio, Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation. On this rainy, my God, it was rainy today, rainy Tuesday afternoon, February 6th. Happy birthday to my mother. She's celebrating her birthday. If you ask her, she is 18 years old for the 90th time. That's how it feels. It keeps going. It doesn't stop. In fact, it'll regress, right? Maybe she's 17. Who knows? Who knows? I want to say shout out to my mother, Verne Aldrina Grant, Verne Michelle Grant. She's down there in 8 Mile Rock, West Grand, Bahama, being able to celebrate her another year of her birthday. Just pray that the Father continues to be able to bless her and keep her and lift her up, make his face shine upon her, and have her to move in the direction that he calls her to move in. It is a beautiful day. And I pray that if you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday to you also. It's a beautiful day. Got to give a shout out to my good, decent people over at AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They got everything laid out for you. Make sure you go down there, check them out. 3411-AFS, 3411-AFS. You can get yourself, if you're a taxi driver, if you're a jitney driver, if you've got these particular things, and you need, a little boost. You may not have all that paper right off the top, and you need somebody to be able to assist you. They got in-house financing. They could be more than 411-AFS. Ask for my good, decent friend, Ethric Bowe. He'd be more than happy to assist you in those areas. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. And we're, teetering. It's almost like a tennis match. Ping pong. Teetering between immigration, crime. And then they pepper some economic conversations in there. Oh, maybe we're hopeful about this. We're hopeful. We are talking about where we are today. And in the papers, if you pick it up, you can be able to see more shantytown homes being torn down. 100 plus people occupied, community officials said. The information goes on. The government yesterday resumed the demolition of a shantytown in New Providence, tearing down structures in the community off Carmichael Road near Coral Harbor. Craig Delancey, building control officer of the Ministry of Works, said a little over 70 buildings are in the community and more than 100 people live in them. We issued notices to them a month ago requesting them to either demolish the buildings themselves or if they don't, we will. This is what Delancey said. So we are at that point now where we are demolishing the buildings. This is absolutely bananas. This is bananas, okay? I want to talk a little pinch about that. What is peculiar to me, if you kind of peruse, if you're anything like me, we try to pick up all the papers just to be able to keep abreast exactly what's happening in the country. If you look at the Tribune, you can be able to see it says, "My family must sleep like a dog." Haitian father Monty Friend, he was emotional yesterday after his home for more than 20 years was demolished in the area of 52 Shantytown on Coral Harbor area, in these particular areas. This is a Haitian father, three said that his family must sleep like a dog. And after bulldozers destroyed his home of more than 20 years. I thought it was peculiar. I thought it was peculiar to take that kind of approach to be able to say these things. I know that emotions run high, and your desires to be able to say these things, especially when someone push 348-3274. 348-3274. I don't know why people texted me in Nassau. Listen to me. I'm in Nassau, and people are texting me in Nassau. Let me read this text for you. Hey, Howard, what's up? What's Triple D's number? Triple D's my cousin's, my uncle's restaurant in 8 Mile Rock. Why don't you just... I'm not going to fight you. 348-3274. You can give him a call. It's a beautiful day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with none other than my very good friend, Garth Roseborough, to be able to talk about these things. He and I had a little powwow yesterday. He said, Howard, I got to bring it to you. I got to put the question to you. It's a beautiful day. So we want to talk about it today. I say, well, let's not wait. Let's do it tomorrow. Yesterday I had a great conversation. Some people are indifferent about it. They say, Howard, you want patty cake with the Prime Minister? Howard. This is what the people tell me. Howard, why you come here with a love fest for the Prime Minister? I'm indifferent about your approach to being able to identify my professional stance and posture to be able to talk about this man's book. Why you all fighting my guts out? We talked about his book yesterday, and I thought I thought I did a stellar job by doing my best to keep my face and my steadfast and focus on the task and the mission at hand. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to none other than Garth Roseborough. Garth, say good afternoon to the people out there.
Good afternoon, Howard Grant, the foundation, the Guardian staff, you wonderful, beautiful Bahamian people, you people around the world who are listening, thank you once again for tuning in. And I just pray today, Howard, that those people have your contact numbers and are prepared to call in, because what I've been hearing on the street yesterday, I'm sure they would like to have their say. I came in to have mine, and I hope you call in to have yours.
I'm not going to fight you, sir. Say your piece. Say your piece. Say your piece. I'm not going to fight you,
well,
sir.
you know,
I'm a decent man, you know.
You're a decent man.
I'm a decent man. I can let you say your piece. I will understand why the anguish, why the anger, why you fight me because I let the former Prime Minister come here and talk about his book.
You ready at your break, eh? Because I won.
It's too much. You can't even you can't give me like a little piece before we go to the break.
No, I won't speak you up like that.
This is too much, sir. you are wild.
Tell these people to get the phone contacts and get ready to call.
I can give you all the phone contacts. They beat up on Howard Day?
I mean, he ain't beat up on Howard Day. It's a Bahamian Day.
Let's go. It's a Bahamian Day. That sounds like beat up on Howard Day to me. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere for the family of Islands, 242-300-5720, or hit me up 422-4796. Now, in the space of decency, I want to say this.
Listening.
As a preamble.
Listening.
To what we're going to say.
You look good, by the way. I like
Give
your
me a little
talk.
Christmas thing.
Yeah, man, you look good.
Yeah, I try to do my thing, right? Praise Jesus. So listen.
Minister must buy him that shirt. Go ahead.
Minister, buy me the shirt.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because it's red. You're doing too much. Your shirt red too. You're doing too much, sir. Preamble. I said, Minister indicated to you that he saw me in church, right?
Saw you in church. The house of God.
We was in the house of God, right?
Yeah.
This you have a place, I don't know, y'all now, some people just call it Soki or Souse, when you throw the ball off the wall, Pocky, right? You throw the ball off the wall, you gotta catch the ball, you gotta go touch the wall if the ball hits you.
Oh, I never played that one.
You never played that?
No.
Okay, so the ball hits you and you don't catch it, you gotta hurry up, touch the wall. That's home plate.
Oh, we know about that.
Okay, you don't know about it? Okay, so
I know about socking.
Okay, so there is always a locality which is called home base.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the house of God is home base. It wasn't a space to have a conversation about politics, and the Prime Minister came there to talk to us. The former Prime Minister. Former Prime Minister came there to talk to us about his book.
Okay.
You talked about the book. I purchased the book. I was fighting with this. I said to my wife, Minister got to give me one of these books. So she said, please, just be decent, me in church. So I said, no, Minister got to give me a book. And we can smile. Now, I'm not going to go there and say, well, me and him was good friends, you know. I don't know what happened since he became the Prime Minister. You
too? You saying the same thing what Ingram saying? Well, Jesus.
I was going to say that.
What?
I try to be decent. I said, I ain't going to say this.
My God.
I said, let me buy the book. Right? So I purchased the book. I said, Minister, what's up? He said, Howard. Then he signs the book. I can let you read what he signs. He signs the book. So I said, okay. He said, Howard, again, or Hotland.
And he was?
He said, how are they getting hotline? What you doing? So I said, well, Dennis, you could come with me, but don't come tomorrow because it can be, I got things set up. Come on the 5th of February. So we set everything up. We formalized this because this is formal. We set everything up. And they called me, his team, up to 6 o'clock in the morning.
Team.
His team. Yeah, this is a big time,
All right.
His team.
All right.
And they just want to make sure, as they call me with panic behind their voice, Howard, are we going to focus on the book? Can you let me know what we're going to be talking about, please? We just want to be prepared. I'm a man of my word. I stayed committed and steadfast to what I said I would do, despite the fact that the corner of my mouth was itching to kind of dive into other things. And he and I have a very good conversation offline. So,
That was a private, confidential conversation, or that's something you can share with us?
absolutely no. Everything is what the old people say. You got to give some, you got to keep some. Everything is not to be said, sir. Praise God.
This is the foundation,
This is the foundation.
And everything
And
is the foundation.
That's basic. Everything cannot be said, sir.
Things are not things are not.
Even John the Revelator.
No, man. When you at the foundation, you're at the root. When you're at the root, everything goes through the root. Nothing is separated until you reach to the branch.
My God.
This is the foundation, so we should be entitled to hear everything what happens at the root.
Really?
And then by the time when we get to a program called The Branch, then we can begin to decide what we tell, what we don't tell. By the time we get to the leaves,
I see what you're
then
doing
of course it goes to the wind.
I see what you're doing.
It becomes very much so public.
I like what you're doing, by the way.
Yeah, so this program today is the foundation.
It's not going to work.
Why not?
Because you keep some and you give some. That from old men in our
So
society.
today we can be the branch.
Wise men.
We're the branch today.
Wise men. Let's just say it was a riveting conversation.
You are a married man. You are a decent man.
Yes, sir.
And I'm almost sure in your marriage you tell everything.
Who, my wife?
Yeah, that's your partner. That's your other half.
If I don't tell her everything, she's go looking for it anyhow.
She can find it.
Don't even remind me. She's kept me so tired. What is this?
Listen,
Miss, why you in my tanks?
I was on the beach. Since you don't go to break, I was on the beach yesterday. I ran through the storm. You know, they had a little mini storm yesterday, and I think God must have been trying to wash away some of the blood off the ground. You know?
My God, this heavy what you
So
do.
thank you, Jesus. Right? And I walked into the cabana, and the people say, God, you see how Howard let Minutes get away?
My God. I get 5 of those calls yesterday.
No, just like you, I can tell you what they said.
Yeah, I ain't gonna fight you.
Ain't nobody, I'm using their terms, ain't. I ain't using no proper English, that's what they say. Ain't nobody into no book. We ain't want to know but when he growing up. We ain't want to know nothing what happened to him then. What we want to know is what he thinking now and what he can do.
Yeah, okay, so
I mean, I just said what they said.
So let's do this. In the space of decency, let's recall what we've seen in politics, geopolitics, globally. And we recognize that the politics locally runs concurrent to the politics that happens in the United States of America for the past 20 years or so. The one thing that's constant out of the politics of the United States of America, when Bush was in, he ran with tyranny, right? He wanted to promise you that he'd go into war, so forth and so on, right? The Democrats, when they find themselves in, they always run along the line of marketing, commercial marketing and sales. That's just what it is. It's about branding. Let's be very clear. If you remember, let's go all the way back to Bill Clinton. If you remember Clinton all over Arsenio, so forth and so on, when they indicated that he was the first black president. You remember this?
Oh, yeah, I was
Okay, okay, so he was there. Okay, good.
I was there.
So the Democrats always uses their platform, presidential platform, to be able to give you a message. Okay. If you remember Barack Obama's campaign, what was it? The Yes We Can.
Right away.
Yes, we can.
Look at the second word.
Yes, we can.
Powerful.
The Yes We Can was accompanied by a book. You see where I'm going with this?
Dangerous.
Okay.
Very
The
dangerous.
Yes We Can was accompanied by a book called The Audacity of hope. Hello? The audacity of hope gave you insight into parts of Barack Obama's life that made you want him to be a president for a third term.
With you.
He got 2 terms.
He did.
The marketing that ran concurrent with the concept of Yes We Can and the presentation of the audacity of hope opened the minds of people. In 1964, 1967, the black Bahamians called Lyndon Pindling with a subconscious desire to identify, watch me now, leadership, vision, hope. This is our man to take us out of the tribulation that we're in. You can't do that solely from a podium. You have to let people into your life. Now, whether you believe it or not, I got 15 calls yesterday, inclusive of text. Let's be decent. And it says to me, Howard, I can read one of the texts when we come back from a break. Howard, I ain't even into Menace. He's make me so sick. But I really like his story, though. I want to find out more about this book. Where can I find this book from?
Really?
Is he as really as bad as he? Hello. I'm going to read the entire text. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a method to certain madness. And if you want to have a talk about it and have a conversation about it, we are all here for it. Line's going to be wide open, guys. Let me take this quick commercial break and be right back after this.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers, we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Creativity is in my blood. From shoes to handbags, fashion lets me express myself and embody Bahamian culture. My name is Aiden Barrow, and I am the creative director of House of Assembly. Alive's Liberty Prime Plan allows me to focus on my passion and stay connected, whether at home or abroad. Once I've created something new, I can post to social media from anywhere and get instant feedback. Alive has a plan for everyone, and it's created with you in mind. Alive, believe in best.
Great news! Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. 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 The foundation.
96.9 FM radio, Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation, right here live and in full effect on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon, February 6th. Like I said, it's my mother's birthday, being able to talk about these things. My mother and also my uncle, my oldest uncle, both of them. So the oldest, my grandmother's oldest child and youngest child were born on the same day, February 6th. So happy birthday to them. Let's talk now. Let's be as decent as possible as we do these things. I already got a call just now. I mean, chuckles from left to right. Howard, hold on. Howard, what's going on here? Did Menace pay you, sir? I didn't even take Menace. I didn't even take money from Menace to interview him yesterday. I just want to be decent. You ain't gonna put me in that kind of box.
Listen, Howard.
You ain't gonna do that to me.
Howard, listen.
I want to hear it now. Let's go.
First of all, let me just give special thanks to all the listeners of the foundation, because everywhere you go, people just engage you. They say, man, listen, you put a pride on Howard. Howard too loose like a goose sometime, you know. God. But Howard, here it is. The nation of the Bahamas for the last 3 years have been found wanting and in the balance. This year, we've had an extraordinary series of violent behavior within our country that's unwarranted. Definitely, we want this situation done away with. The one thing we knew Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis was good for was locking down a neighborhood. He could lock down the whole country. Nobody move, nobody get hurt. Okay? Right now, like the children of Israel, you know, these people in the mountains, they had to get churchy, Howard. Moses went away in the mountain for 40 days. And when they did not see him return, they built a golden calf to replace him. Now, watch what I'm saying to you, Howard. In the camp of Israel, they had Aaron, who was the mouthpiece, yes? Second man in charge. You had all the sons of Levi and all the children of Israel at the bottom there. But the people wanted Moses. The people want a leader. They want that leader to be there in front of them where they can see him, touch him, hear him, and my God, if they can even smell him. They want him close. When a leader is absent, the people will automatically seek another leader. It wasn't Aaron that they were looking for. They created a golden calf based on what they knew. We've been plagued with a situation where people have asked, where's our prime minister? Where's our prime minister? Where's our prime minister? Where's our prime minister? Which has created a void or a vacuum for leadership. They don't want Fred. They're not saying they want Glennis. They're not saying they want Chester Cooper, but they're still looking for a leader. The tendency of our people, culturally, politically, is to look to the other side of the Jordan River, if you please.
Not the side, hold on, not the side you just come from, though.
The side you just come from, because remember now, the children should always say, we might as well go back to Egypt.
For onion, to eat onion.
Okay then.
My God.
Thank you, Jesus, they say.
Let's go.
Okay? So now watch this now. If you're not pleased with your current behavior, not that you don't like his wife, it's just the fact that the fellow got up in the mountain. So now we got to go across the river. Now, who is across the river? When you're looking for someone to rectify the current situation, could you honestly say to me, and I want your callers to call and tell me I'm wrong.
They already texted me. They say, I prefer Menace too, Garth.
No, you're not going to go to Pintard. Not that I'm against Pintard, but Pintard don't look like no strong fellow who can correct the situation. But the one thing you sure about, if Menace was there, this ain't happening.
You're doing a lot. You're getting heavy today.
Now, you let him sit on this show. Hold on, man. Yo, you let him sit on this show. Yeah, you promised a mile and a half hour, and I know Menace is a man of time. Someone said Menace is a man of time. So you said, Mr. Menace, listen now. I know when I invited you on the show, I promised you time. So my thing was I was going to give you 25 minutes, but you got to give me one thing. 5 minutes is mine. Now, in my 5 minutes, you say you're on my show. Tell me what you can do. See, you're supposed to put him there because we have a crime problem. And you said, let us not distract ourselves, PLP, from the current situation. We don't want to hear about the hotel in Grand Bahama. Did you not say that? We don't want to hear about what y'all thinking y'all going to do. Hope. But he said, hope.
Hopefully.
Yeah, you ain't into no hope. But you know one thing with Menace. If Menace says something, he ain't no hope. He can do. So you let that man get out of the studio and he tell us what he would do?
Now, watch me. Let's be decent. In the space of decency.
I want to call in, man. You can't let me fight alone on this one.
You're not going to let him campaign here. Because you might as well just put me on the ticket one time. If I bring the former prime minister here who you know is vying for a position to move towards leadership, actively, let's talk about this.
We ain't sure? He ain't say nothing.
No, we ain't talking about what he say. We're talking about what we see.
No, we ain't seen that.
We don't know you by your...
We want him to say it.
Your fruits in your words. Your fruits is your action.
We need him to say it.
No, but watch me. He's not going to say it. Ain't no
Why he ain't gonna say
no
it?
tacticianist.
So this transparency
no strategist
and accountability,
can say
that
it.
doesn't exist there?
No strategist can say. Now, let's be decent. It started to yesterday, you know. He started to, and I put him right back to the book. He started to yesterday. He started to talk about crime. I asked him a whole question about the paradigm that is associated with the mindset in our community. Whether or not he believes that the paradigm needs to shift. He went into crime. He went into talk about crime. You know why? Because crime is the hot button issue. And if I could tell you my thoughts about crime associated with where I come from, because ministers didn't start telling us
Howard, if
he
you
couldn't
let-
talk. He almost dead when he born.
But Howard, if you let the man talk, I would buy $5 today. I ain't buying none yet. I want to hear what he got to say before I buy $1.
But what you want him to say?
I wanted to tell us what the plan is.
No, but this what
I
he
want to know
did.
the plan.
Listen to the plan. The people is roll out the thing in front of you, and he that have eyes, let him see. He roll out before you his plan.
Okay.
The first one was a book about the past of his life. The second, these are 3 volumes. The second will be a book about his medical life and what he done in those particular areas. And then the third one will be a book about his political life. He said, then that one should be an easy book because I already was keeping notes on everything that I've done. Watch me now. Watch me. If you realize the strategy and the layout, this is in preparation to get to something bigger. Now, I don't need to say that. I think enough of us could read. We could see what's happening. My God, no one had to walk in the room for Hezekiah to say, Hezekiah, what that hand doing writing on the wall? You could see the writing on the wall for yourself. And he that have eyes, let him see.
So here is the difficulty in me accepting. And I hope these people can call in, you know.
The
Here's the
lines
difficulty
did a
of
breakdown.
accepting. They let them now? Okay. Here's the difficulty in accepting that. Earlier in this year, on the foundation, Howard Grant said and spoke to that of a future convention in the Free National Movement.
Validity of it. It have to happen.
It has to happen.
Yes.
So which year is that going to happen in?
This year.
So it's going to happen in this year.
November of last year, they started to speculate the fact that by February of this year,
We're in February now.
this February that we're in right now,
Any word?
no word.
Okay, now, no word. So when does a Hubert Alexander Minnis say, yeah, I'll accept the nomination for leadership? Or is that in the underworking, or was that a part of the conversation you had off the air after he left?
Sir, first and
I'm only
foremost,
asking a question.
first and foremost, we've already put the conversation that I had in a vacuum. That doesn't exist. Okay, that's one. Secondly, for a nomination within any political organization, you don't need to do that months in advance. They nominate you on the floor within the council. I nominate such and such a person. Who seconds it? I second it. You accept or you don't? I accept. Okay, now the party's on. That's how it works. So we don't need to know in advance. We just need to know when they're approaching this particular position, if you'll be able to put yourself forward. Guys, the number is 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere for the family violence, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Howard.
Hey, what's up, Graham?
Ram.
And how you doing?
Graham, you had to let me hear your voice today.
I had to, I enjoyed the show yesterday,
Go ahead.
as I always do when our great former leader speaks. Any of them, I enjoyed listening to any of my great former leaders. I really wish that the phone lines would have been opened and respectful. But before I get to that, I can't vote for any party where I can't vote for who's going to be the leader. Few MCMs, meritorious council members, and stalwart council members in the PLP. And I'm not one of those. So I have no say in who will be the leader. But you all think about that and marinate on that now. Why would I ever want my former prime minister back? Two things. He dug for oil. We did an oil exploration under his administration, correct?
Mm-hmm.
We said we didn't find plenty oil. But maybe we didn't go deep enough. Maybe we didn't go in the middle of the well. Maybe we only went on the side of the well to get a little bit of oil because it was to explore the quality. But we were never told the quality of the oil that we definitely did find. Somewhere there's a sample. And I think that maybe this government or future governments would tell the people what's the quality of the oil, because that would determine how wealthy we are. Secondly, I would have asked our great former leader to explain what it meant that next time would be for the poor. Because I'm not stupid rich.
Great question.
And I know everybody listening would have wanted to hear the thoughts and ideas. And maybe
Yes.
book 2 or 3, when you invite him on Howard, that will be in the book, and we will have a full explanation. Because he would have probably, he could have probably said that the natural resources, the carbon credits, the oil, the aragonite, the sand, the oolite, all these monies would go to each citizen. And man, I would have been excited. I would have gone, got my pom-poms and shirt out and everything. But I guess that's an opportunity. We'll have to wait for the next show. that he
Wait.
comes on
The
with
word
you,
is wait.
Howard. But you make sure I ask those 2 questions. Explain what the poor are doing good next time, and what was the quality of the oil, sir. Now, y'all have a great show.
Hey, Graham,
I'm
before you
sitting back,
go.
biting my nails.
Hey, Graham, and
Yep.
before you go, you got to ask him the third question. How's the poor doing now?
Well, next time is for them, bro. That's why I really want him to come back. Do not slide anyone else in, Howard, because this time will be for us.
My God. I appreciate you.
Y'all have a good-
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Somebody text me. I can read this text. I'm going to read all the text today because I know heat was coming today. I'm prepared for the heat. Let's go. So say, Howard, I wasn't going to say anything, but, I have to.
Thank
You're
you.
the ultimate lotioner. This is what they say. You are the ultimate lotioner.
Suntan lotion.
The ultimate lotioner. That's what they tell me. This is people talking to me. Right? You let me explain to you. You had the former prime minister, all caps, they have to put it like this. The former prime minister on your show. And you let him slide pouring on lotion on his body and oil and such, man. Say you buy land after land. And my question is to you, what is left for me and my kids, Howard? This is a text is coming through. So a lot of persons want to be able to say these things. It says, Mr. Grant, you don't have to live like a dog. They can go home. This is to what's in the papers this morning, talking about living like a dog. Some of them too biggity, talking, but they don't go in. They ain't going nowhere. This is a text is coming through, right? So Howard, why you don't have your boy in the studio when Doc was there? I suppose they mean you.
Yeah.
No, there was formality yesterday.
Huh?
You still gotta let me run my show. There was formality yesterday. I structured it accordingly. I wanted him to come on talk. I didn't give Doc I gave him 1 hour. Talk from 12 to 1. And that's it. Because I know if I went over 1 o'clock, we're gonna have to talk about some other stuff. And he wanted to confine that conversation to the book. So I did my best. Let me take a telephone call. Caller on the line, go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Howard Gardner, to God.
Yes,
Hey, what's up, my brother?
Yeah, so, Howard, I could never call you a coward, right?
I appreciate it.
But maybe you didn't want the PM to suffer the wrath of Garth, because Garth is the realest, right? Now,
Okay.
a big joke here. The Oban files was really what I was concerned about, right? And its whereabouts. Now, the thing is, I listen to the PM. I like to thank the PM for giving me that good joke on the present PM as far as feeding the chimpanzee and who's cousins and all of this and that. But I got a good laugh out of that because I didn't know he had a sense of humor. But he still gave me a tumor during the pandemic because he followed science blindly, and he's supposed to be a physician and a biologist, et cetera, et cetera. And I was frightened that of the adherence to global scientific BS. Hence, a lot of haters on the who listen to the airways feel as if I haven't. The question is, has 52 made a contribution, or he's doing more harm than good? Because what I'm saying is, with science, right? I really was trying to find a way, as a scientific journalist, to give us the truth about anything, a data, the charter, whatever. So there's a reason for me calling, because I'm not hearing what we need to hear. But I really was interested in the Oban files, and which was really just a simple question, right? And so we look at corruption and where we sit today. And are you suggesting that we vomit or go back into an equilibrium, or A, B, A, whatever? This is an equilibrium with these particular parties and entities. And unfortunately, most of us don't see it that way. And I guess throwing your subjects a bone will make them a goon and have them happy. Give thanks.
I appreciate you. I want to say one thing. If you just give me two space, it's going back. He said something. Should we go back to vomit?
Yeah.
I thought it was peculiar and profound. It's something that we've heard for a very long time in our society. That being able to go back to vomit. This is where we come from. I have just this morning. I told you I do a lot of look at these scientific stuff and all these stuff like that. Japanese scientists right now had a major issue with sewage in Japan.
Have to.
They had major issues with this kind of a sewage sludge buildup. And so the Japanese scientists went into the sewage and identified something that was very peculiar. It had high levels of protein within the sludge, this sewage sludge, which is defecation. And they've identified the proteins and carbohydrates and the limnites or whatever the other things are called. They identify those things. And guess what they did with it? They made steak. They literally processed sewage sludge, made steak. They put a dye to it, and it is now edible for people's consumption. Back to this point. We've been making steak from our vomit for a long time in this country. Can I get an amen? Somebody talk to me. We have gone back and forth relentlessly between one organization, from the FNM to the PLP, from the FNM to the PLP, even when you've rejected the former Prime Minister, Perry Christie, for the very first time, because there was an expectation that he would have won in 2007. Remember this. Between 2002 and 2007, he won. That was the PLP's reign. With the reintroduction, because it was supposed to be Tommy T. Remember this. And as a result of Tommy T being able to step back and seeing all those particular things, here comes Hubert Ingraham, and we went right back to Hubert Ingraham, rejecting former Prime Minister Perry Christie. Here comes 2012. 2012, former Prime Minister Perry Christie come back with hat in hand. He come back like a little boy with his tail tucked between his leg to the podium and say, well, the most eloquent Prime Minister we have. I just want to. I made some mistakes.
Yeah, this time will be different.
It'll be different this time. And you gave him an opportunity again. So when you start to talk to me about this concept in Ida, whether or not we've gone back to vomit, this is what we consume. We have a healthy diet of nothing but regurgitation because no one has identified any place else to go. And you allow the former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham to stand up when Granville McCarthy, despite what have happened to him or didn't happen to him, you allowed him to stand in the House of Parliament to say, either I get it or you get it. Indicating that we will continue to be able to feed the Bahamian people this steady diet of vomit. And no one said anything. No one said anything. So do you believe that given the fact that this man understands the rhythm of our society, that he wouldn't try to be able to slip his way back in there? Talk to me.
Howard,
Talk to me.
I love this conversation. I'm going to say this to you. Bahamian people are people of diet. We love good food. We love tasty food. And so the plates that we have been served prior have always been food that has been edible for the most part. It may not have been the most healthiest, but it was edible for the most part. What the third parties have presented on the plate of recent times has not appeared edible. It seemed to be an unbite. It seemed to be a plate that lacked nourishment. Now, you mentioned a name, Granville McCarthy, so I'm going to use this particular name because I see a new brand. I see, someone who's brand new. I see someone who, by this time, should have been able to observe the Bahamian political landscape and say, you know what? Maybe I need to return home to the FNM in the event that Hubert Alexander Minnis is not ready to go back to the helm, knowing very well that the FNM may need some help and some boosting. And I'm almost certain that those who supported the DNA and who supported the third parties may even look at a person like a Granville McCarthy. But our situation is one where we are left in the dark. What are we now going to do? Where is the leader that we seek? Who is he or she? And most men in this country don't like the she's. But we've had some very formidable women like Glenys Hanna Martin, who may have the potential to run the country. But once again, we're divided on this particular issue. So this is why, Howard, yesterday, we said in our mind, what the hell is Howard Grant doing? Do not let this man slip. We want answers now.
Are you saying to me indirectly that you wanted to know whether or not he's running for leadership and I should have put the question
all
before?
We wanted to know, does he have any interest? Yes or no?
He will relentlessly and perpetually have interest in leadership.
He wants to be the leader.
Also Perry Christie. Also Fred Mitchell.
You think Perry Christie want to come back?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But we know that he cannot at this time.
I don't care what nobody
convention is
might
passed.
say.
But we're looking at the FNM convention.
No, I'm just saying hypothetically, if we're going to talk about what we're talking about, any leadership that still has their strength, you know what
I agree with you. I agree with you, but I'm simply saying, Howard, that the PLP has already solidified their leadership. The FNM is still left in the balance. Now, Michael Pintard, the leader of the Royal Opposition, has to make a decision. If he is confident that the FNM is now presently with him, why not call the convention and get it done and away with? But if he is not certain, of course, he's allowing devotion to build once again for Hubert Alexander Minnis. Because the longer we have this crime spree and we have the situations of financial question marks, Hubert Alexander Minnis is now beginning to look like, you know what? Here's a man who's just been rebaptized and filled with the Holy Ghost. We're going to run with this man. That's what's happening. And I'm watching the legions of people saying, you know what? We might as well give Minnis a chance again. I'm hearing this on the street, and you correctly just said it. We just love returning to our vomit.
That's it.
You just said it. And this is true.
That's it. Nobody want to hear that, you know.
And right now, every PLP should not be sitting comfortable right now.
Yes, they will sit comfortably.
They want to sit comfortably, but they cannot.
PLPs, oh my God, watch me touch this. The PLP's only discomfort with identifying leadership and ensuring that they can neutralize that, the only discomfort that exists within the walls of the Free National Movement bubbled up with discord. And they've identified who could be a problem next go round. And they pulled that person into their fold. And who was that?
Loretta Butler Turner.
Okay, let's take a quick commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, 96.9, quick break, and be right back after this.
Foundation.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef, it's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Creativity is in my blood. From shoes to handbags, fashion lets me express myself and embody Bahamian culture. My name is Aiden Barrow, and I'm the creative director of House of Assembly. Alive's Liberty Prime Plan allows me to focus on my passion and stay connected, whether at home or abroad. Once I've created something new, I can post to social media from anywhere and get instant feedback. Alive has a plan for everyone, and it's created with you in mind. Alive, believe in best.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation, right here. I'm live and in full effect being able to talk about these things. I just want to be as decent as possible as we talk. Listen to me. I like politics just as much as the next man, maybe a little bit more. I enjoy this. And I need you to understand that politics is both within the confines of your political organization, but there is geopolitics, right? There is national politics. There is sociopolitics. There is politics in almost everything. That's why I actually call my show Patio Politics. There's politics that exists within the church. I called my show Patio Politics. And people were reluctant about it because they only saw politics from superficial standpoint, listening to it, hearing it. They say, oh, no, Howard, I don't want to talk about the FNM, the PLP. Sir, that's not what we're talking about. That's not what the depth of what we're talking about. Now, let's get into this. The PLP recognized the threat that was bubbling in the Free National Movement. They knew that Minnis could not last the next general election. Their concern was not Minnis for the next general election. Their concern was that the one after. Talk to me. A strategy. Mm-hmm. In identifying that, they've identified the strength within the organization of the Free National Movement. Who's been disgruntled? Who, in their particular capacity, despite the misogyny that exists in this society that we care not talk about, were able to garner the strength and conviction of men to support their position and move forward to the Governor General to be able to put a letter forward to indicate that we have no confidence in this leader anymore. Who was able to do that? Who stood at the helm and do that? Who? And in the midst of being able to do those particular things, beyond that, this particular person shows a convention adorned in an emblem, a sign, a signia that actually spoke to forward movement, forward thinking, and progression. Who caused the Free National Movement to go to yet another convention right after they came from one? These are questions that I have for you, sir. And in the midst of me asking these questions, I asked whether or not they were able to neutralize, not by being able to put a thumb on their neck or elbow on their neck or so forth and so on, but neutralize with this concept and idea of open arms, absorbing you into the fold. Let's talk, let's be decent. Absorbing you into the fold, taking you in, and recognizing now that leadership has left the Free National Movement, we have nothing to worry about. They have done that. Because there is not one man or mice within the Free National Movement that could touch Loretto. None of them. They can't beat them.
You said in a show, I can't recall the date, that the Progressive Liberal Party is a party that has a plan. And in their planning, they have been able to neutralize all threats in media, all public threats in terms of those of political aspirations. They pull them all in, including Loretta Butler Turner. I recall the time we spoke with when she became a consultant, I think for the Small Business Bureau, if I'm correct. But what you also said was that the Free National Movement had failed to recruit new talent.
Absolutely. And I'm steadfast on that. And they have not done that yet.
And it's still showing.
And this is why people can't put their finger on it, We got 3 minutes before we get at it. A lot of people are looking at this and trying to figure out, my spirit just don't take to this. I don't know why I'm uneasy about Michael Pintard. People don't know why.
Tell us.
Michael Pintard's objective is to right the wrongs with his voice. He wants to tell you.
Yeah.
He wishes to explain away because he's articulate. He's very insightful, and he wishes to explain to you why you took this particular action and we did this or we didn't do this. He wishes to explain to you. No one cares for an explanation.
That's correct.
I don't care what you have to say.
That's correct.
Let's get to work.
That's also correct.
No one cares. Let's get to work. No, listen to me. We heard absolutely nothing. No gum busting. Loretta didn't gum bust. She didn't have nothing to say. She grabbed the fellas together. She bring the paper. Everybody signed it. She gone to the Governor General. Minutes was out.
That's it.
Next thing you know, Rodney Munker is a senator. My God, you need to understand what's going on at the table, my brother. Everyone who had any level or an iota of potential, potential.
She pulled them in.
She pulled them into the table. A woman. The PLP knows this.
Like a mother hen.
The PLP recognized this, and they pull her in. You know when it started? Let me tell you when it started.
Tell us.
In 2017, 16, 17, when Perry Christie stood up on the stage and say, "Oh, this is Loretta over there. I don't even know why you're over there. Your father, your grandfather has done so much for this party."
Wait,
and you're over there. You're supposed to be home over here.
Yeah, he good like that.
It started then.
He good like that.
It started then.
He is good like that.
Come on, man.
He is good.
And
like
no
that.
one watching this now. The FNM is in an uproar. There's no vision. There's only articulation about why you're wrong for being able to view this like this, and no one is taking action. This is where you are right now. And so when you see these texts coming through, say, Howard, I would rather vote. There's a text right now. Howard, I would rather vote for Menace instead of voting for Pintard.
That's the truth.
Okay, let's just talk.
And then just before you go to the break,
now you
and then yours. No, I ain't gonna fight you. Where is the voice of people like Ellsworth Johnson? Strong man. Bring him to the forefront. Let the man talk. Let the man have some responsibility.
Ellsworth is a lawyer and a politician.
Okay.
Let's be very clear about
And
some
he's-
stuff. We got to take this commercial break. Let's be clear about some stuff. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them.
When he holding and folding,
Know
Shannon
when to
Cartwright
walk
holding and
away.
folding, the deputy holding and folding, the whole party holding and folding. We don't want no royal opposition who hold and fold, old boy.
Fold until election.
You go fold in the grave. That's what you can do.
My God, you're doing too much. Quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. We got to get to news, and we're going to be right back after this.
Foundation.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's that time of year. Time for the Guardian Media Group's annual Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise Fair at the Mall at Marathon, Saturday, March 2nd.
Starting at 10 a.m.
Admission is totally free. Games, prizes, samples, and surprises are free. So, bring your mom, bring your dad, bring grandma and the baby, and come and receive free health screening, new product info, and sound financial advice. It's the annual Nassau Guardian Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise Fair, happening Saturday, March 2nd at the Mall at Marathon. Join the movement.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation, right here on, we're chopping it down with none other than Garth Roseborough being able to talk about these things. I think a lot of people are indifferent about this. I think we've shifted the thing. I just want to bring clarity to this. First and foremost, I had to let you know that no matter your feelings, I just want to be decent with you. Because I exist here in this space. I am from an era where we envision Marty in our space. I'm from an era where Back to the Future influenced us so much that our expectations as young people, that when we get to 2024, 2025, 2030, that our country would look entirely different than it looked when we were in the early 90s, late 80s. I'm from that era. And I'm also of the ilk and era that is absolutely disappointed by the stagnant, perpetual regurgitation that exists in our society. I am often aghast and thrown back when the government makes proclamation that they will do something and actually does it. I am always surprised when they make proclamations and they execute on their position. I am. Because I've seen too much in my past that says to me, this government, and I can be decent, it ain't F&M, it ain't PLP, the inconsistencies that are woven into the culture and the system that exists in this country. This government is far too lackadaisical in their approach to being able to see productivity and growth for the Bahamian people, the citizens of the Bahamas. So when I have this conversation, very frankly, with you, as you talk to me about the fact that Howard, we ain't going back to our vomit, and I say to you, you've eaten a steady diet of vomit for years. Yeah, you could give me all the questions you want. I write them down for you. I write them down. And I will get to these questions. But the question that I have for you is, will you get to the result, to the position that you desire to see in this society? And I go right back to this. It is absolutely impossible without a paradigm shift, without us as a society deciding that we're going to move in a different direction. We will continue to eat, not of the fat of the land, of the crumbs, with an expectation to be able to get jolly and wide as we move from one tier or another. But the fact is that we stay right here, stagnant. There's no growth, there's no development, there's only stagnation. And that stench that you smell of crime, that permeates from the stagnation that exists in our system, the corruption that's at the root of this. And no one will talk about this. And one name, I tell you, I believe could have done it for us in this dispensation and generation. He all likes to murder her. He likes to murder her. The Free National Movement, this is not an advocation for her. I love Loretta. She's been on my show 3 times. She's my girl. This is not me advocating, Loretta, come back home. None of these things. I am simply saying that just as the concept that we have when we see externally this rise in crime, there's issues, and then we say enough is enough, people take that on too. My God, enough is enough. How much time you can let a man whip you, slap you, beat you, and you take on this kind of a posture and position and say, well, praise God, I got to turn the second cheek, turn the other cheek. You only got 2 on your face. This is too much. Let's have a conversation, guys. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the family of islands, 242-300-5720. Hit me up on the text, 422-4796. A couple of people tell me, how would you read my text? We can get to your text right now. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Hey, Howard.
Hey.
What's happening?
All is well, my brother. What's happening with you?
I want to ask you something, right?
Are you right here?
I have to ask you. One concerning the Prime Minister and another one concerning the Minister of National Security.
Okay.
You were saying that the Minister of National Security needs to... I can't remember exactly you said it, but you were saying something, but he needs to find a way or something like that to combat these bunch of murders were taking place.
The Minister of National Security came in the paper a few days ago and said that he's hopeful that the spat of crime is nearing its end. I don't have the paper before me, but he was hopeful. And I started to talk about this kind of a hope because that was the same hope that the Prime Minister used with the hope to sell Grand Luke Hyatt. We don't need the cabinet to hope. We can hope with nobody there. And that's when I said we need strategy and approach to eradicate certain issues.
Okay, but now, could I say something, right?
Go ahead.
You was one time lobbying to become a member of a party or something like that.
Yes.
Do you know that the minister, all them ministers, right, their job is, let me use the Minister of National Security, his job is to go in there, legislate whatever needed to be done concerning these crimes and things, right? Okay. When he doesn't do that, right, that goes to the police and the court system. Now, the minister don't go there and go looking for murderers. That's the police job. And the minister, what he does is he equips the police them with the tools in which they tell him they need.
Okay.
Now, if they don't execute their portfolio, you can't put that on the minister.
Okay.
Could I say something to that?
I hear what he's saying. I can let him finish, let him unravel what he have to say. Because you say also you got the Prime Minister.
And then concerning the Prime Minister, I hear you say yesterday, the Prime Minister need to put on an army outfit, right? Not an army outfit,
camouflage.
You do it? Camouflage outfit. Mm-hmm. Put on one hat and go around doing what? What are you supposed to go around doing now? What?
Well, I can say this to you because I feel like see where you're getting. We are in extreme times. I thank you so much for your telephone call. Just listening. We are in extreme times, right? And it's calling for extreme measures. That's just what it is. This is not going to be the first time, not locally, not internationally, not globally, that we've seen someone take the helm and being able to deal with these particular issues. If you look at the papers right now, you look at the papers today. I actually read the letter, and I'll read the letter for you. When you open up the newspaper, you could be able to see some information right there. Today is Tuesday. You can see it. And it starts to talk about how King Charles has to do away with all of his appointments as a result of being able to see a benign growth. King Charles III has been diagnosed with cancer. He will halt public duties as he undergoes treatment. Now, let's be very clear about this. Now, this is life and death. And the king, who has duties to the Commonwealth of Nations, shaking hands, individual, meeting people, it doesn't come before his health. Despite his reluctance, he understood the necessity for being able to halt his position. And extreme measures call for him to take this kind of an extreme position. Our country has a cancer in it. The death that we see is not a casual thing. On top of suicides with people who, listen, this a married woman jump off the bridge. No one out here talking. Everybody can speculate what the issues was, but this is what's coming to the forefront as an apparent suicide. As a result of what we're having with the perpetuation of crime, murders, and now suicide, domestic violence has already been off the... When are you going to take the time to stop the evolution, the revolution of things that's happening around you and say, let's focus on this particular thing? Let's be steadfast in this and see. I didn't say all year for the whole 5 terms. Take 6 weeks to see whether or not he could be able to move the needle, even a pinch, to make modifications to see our country move in the right direction. That's all I said. And that's only my suggestion and my position in my mind. There are 400,000 persons who have their own perspective and views. And this is what we're talking about. Talk to me, God.
I would say that the campaign of 2021, the New Day campaign, promised that they had a plan for crime. Everybody heard it. That promise did not come from the permanent secretary.
No.
Or the Ministry of National Security. That came from a potential parliamentarian, potential cabinet minister, a potential minister of national security. He was a part of that particular team that presented a platform of resolution. They were voted in based on the fact that the people felt this new day was necessary. The new day has now become 3 years later.
My God.
And we're still waiting
for the sun to rise.
For the sun to rise.
My God.
We're still waiting to feel the heat wave upon us. We're still waiting for the flowers and the vegetables to grow. What we are now seeing is a sunset. 2026 is just around the corner. And whereas they may not be able in person to go out there and to bring such remedy, they said they did not have an idea. They did not have a scenario. They said they had a plan. That plan was brought forth by way of a leader of that particular political party. That leader of that political party is the spearhead of the plan. But the spearhead of the plan in Africa, Europe, and all over the world talk about carbon credits, while the carbon fabric of our society is falling apart. That is what he's talking about. And so take off, like Perry Gladstone Christie told me one time. He said, Roseboro, you like to wear these nice suits. You like to wear, you always sharp. But I used to sell timeshare. I used to look the part. I had money, plenty money. So I used to dress sharp. Christy, man, God, sometimes you got to wear jeans and T-shirts. Sometimes I show the people you're a working man. And so all Howard is saying is that, Mr. Brave Davis, take off that coat suit, take off that tie, put on some street clothes, some war clothes, some camouflage clothes, and say, you know what? I'm going to take this thing seriously. I'm not going to travel for 6 weeks. I don't care who calls me. If the Pope calls me, I ain't going. If my granddaddy from the grave called me, I ain't showing up right now. Right now, I can deal with this matter. Give me 6 weeks to get this under control. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to do something. I'm going to suspend the Minister of National Security from his duty at this time. And I myself, I'm going to take on the portfolio of Minister of National Security. And I'm going to take this under my wings, and I'm going to give you a certainty that based on the rate of murder in this country, I'm going to decrease this by 5 to 10%.
Let's do it.
That's all I'll be saying.
That's it.
We're not saying you could stop it.
And guess what?
But you could do some things to make the people understand that the government is taking this seriously. And guess what? If you push me any further, watch and see what the consequences can be.
He's not even saying that in a vacuum. He has the full weight and strength of the law and law enforcement behind him. So he has, listen to me, carte blanche to be able to execute this and get it done.
Man, I trying to say.
And you can't get it done.
You can't get it done if you're on the plane, old boy.
You can't get it done.
You got to be here.
You can't be the Prime Minister of carbon credits.
Home.
You can't be the Prime Minister of climate change. He's the Prime Minister of the Bahamas. The Bahamas having a crime issue. We're having an immigration issue. We're having a crisis in our country.
And we won't be decent. And all people care about is, oh, that's my party. Ain't no party when it's your son. When it's your daughter who won't jump off the bridge?
Okay, talk to me.
You got to bring this situation home. This is not about hating the PLP. This is not about hating the government. This is about loving our country and loving our fellow man. And so people always simply saying is, let us do our part. That's all it is.
Let me take a telephone call. Caller on the line with us live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Hi, Mr. Carr. How are you?
I am wonderful.
Great. Yeah, I hear you, and you make a lot of sense, Carr, in reference to the part of with the Prime Minister, some of the points you made, I should say.
Thank you.
Now, realistically, he is the Prime Minister of the entire country.
Honorably, yes.
I remember when Mr. Brandel McCartney
Talk to me.
was Minister of State for Immigration.
Yes, my friend, yes.
And he dressed up in the camouflage
Mm-hmm.
and ran around with the
helicopter, too.
And look at the criticism that he got.
Yes.
They diminish his position.
Yes.
In the midst of him, they he ain't nothing to talk about like that.
But they tore him to pieces.
Yeah.
Yes.
For what he did for being hands-on on the ground.
Have mercy.
Now we're hearing cries for the Prime Minister to put on some old jeans.
Yeah, get on the streets. Get on the streets.
Or no. Put on a police outfit.
I say camouflage.
And put one gun or something or thing on the
No, you can't put the gun on the Prime Minister.
and walk around or drive around in the
You're doing a lot. Too much. It's too much. Okay.
Right. We don't need the drama. I don't need. We have enough of the stunts. We have enough of the image, whatever, consultancy and all this image thing. Let me speak for me and mine. What I want to see is, I think, when you look at it, the police, the national security, the police officers, they are on target. They're on the game,
Oh, yeah.
They are in it.
Yes.
Because I've been here, so many people having to get bailed out, so many crews getting picked up, so many, the police on the ground, stopping people to the point where it's becoming so frustrating for these persons in these communities.
Okay.
That they're crying out now about rights and whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're putting on the pressure.
Yes.
Right? But it's the preventative things that I would like to see more of. Okay? Right. I would like to see the Prime Minister. Okay, the Prime Minister isn't going around on tractor taking down these shanty towns. I don't think the Minister, Mr. Clay Sweeting, is doing that. But it's getting done, right?
Right.
It's getting done to the point now. I read some of the article in the paper about the lady from Bamako, the Chamber of Commerce person, saying, let's not rejoice. And she's right. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's going to be ramifications, and we're going to have to deal with the situation after the land has been. Okay, so you see things happening. The Prime Minister isn't there hands-on doing that. You have to have persons and have these persons who are the ones who oversee the ministers, the permanent secretaries, and their teams. You have to make sure, your job is to ensure that these policies are being carried out correctly. And if there's a program or there's something that needs to be scrapped, if there are persons in these places that you need to yank, and put someone else in place to deal with that position,
yes.
or that job and that responsibility that they are being paid for,
yes.
to ensure that it's being done. And you should not be shy. You should not be concerned about having to move them.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to see my Prime Minister. I'm so sorry. Now, I love when he went with the walkabout and whatever, right? I want to see more of that.
Yes.
Going in the communities with the team, with social service workers, the police, the pastors or whatever. The church, you understand? You have a team from the community, people who live in these communities, who can take you to Miss Jones' house and say, sir, this person, you understand what I'm saying? To point these, do that. Go in Engliston next time. Go in Kemp Road. Come in Pinewood. Do these things. That's what I want to see. But I don't want to see him being distracted going in these places. Your job is to make sure the people that you have in place, and if it takes moving them, just say one before I go. Okay, people, you have a lot of complaints sometimes in reference to the hospitals. Should the Prime Minister go put on a doctor's outfit or a surgical thing and go walk around the hospital with the blue things that they wear when they're in the theater? No. But you make sure that people who are in these positions do their job. If you have to move these chairmen of these boards or whomever, to ensure that you get or to seem to be, that you're trying to make an effort to shake things up.
My lovely
and you
lady.
have to shake it up every month or every year. Shake it.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your telephone call. I like that. I like her contribution.
But
I'm not going to fight her.
I'll say this, and I think she's on target for the most part. I think, though, we cannot belittle what a uniform does. People just take uniforms casually. They're not casual. If you go on Bahamas Air tomorrow morning and you sit in the aircraft and a gentleman walks in there with a T-shirt and jeans under the cockpit and closes the door, tell me what you're thinking.
Hijack.
You like, but Jesus, who he is?
What's going on here?
He qualified. But what I'm saying, you put...
I don't even give my money to the fella if they ain't got a uniform on at the gas station.
In that type of outfit, the boost of morale that brings to the police force. Unbelievable.
I think it's a lot of... I think she said something to me.
She's right, but I'm saying...
Yeah, she said something to me. I think it popped out in my head, and I wanted to be able to get further definition. She doesn't want to see her prime minister dressed, and then she cut short. Mm-hmm. She doesn't want to see her prime minister, right?
She doesn't want to be a clown. She doesn't want to see a clown.
Okay, so I'd like to know what our thoughts are, because I feel like this is a circus.
No, I'm not looking at it even as a circus.
No. I mean, like, as a nation,
the president.
If you view this particular outfit in the potential that you could fight me down for the outfit. This is just, I came out of my mind, right? Off the cuff, we had a conversation about it. We're not fighting about it. But the fact of the matter is that I need to know, how do you view your prime minister? Because even if he has on a Givenchy suit,
feeding the gorillas,
right? Even if he has on a Givenchy suit. Mm-hmm. If he has on a Gucci suit, whatever the case may be, and he sits in his particular capacity in office and he's non-productive, what is your expectation from your prime minister? If there's non-productivity, if there's only platitudes, if they're only serving you words with expectation, peppered with this concept and idea of hope, to hope that it happens as though we have no hands on the wheel. We hope that it's going to be able to get back on track. We hope to God that these particular things happen. This is what we're getting from the cabinet of the Bahamas. There is relentless hope. The pillars that they provided us they are strong. They're good pillars, right? They started to talk about these things. The people say they get it from ChatGPT. They get all these things like that. They copy and paste this concept they want to be able to apply. They've averted the eyes and kind of pulled out this concept and idea of the culture that exists in here. They haven't done their work. They haven't done their homework. What are your views of what the prime minister should do? Because no matter whether he wears a suit or not, whether he wears the uniform or not, whether he's in a big T-shirt, whether he's out the country, whether he's here, we are getting crime every day in this country. Now, you could call and combat me and say, Howard, well, is your expectation that there won't be crime, and take me way back to biblical times, if that's what you want to do. But the fact of the matter is that we can do better. We can. And it's going to take strong leadership that dares give you that hope, that vision, that idea, to not only motivate you and encourage you to participate, but also provide a strategy that they could stand behind 100% to say that this is the path that we're going to be able to take. And guess what? If I fail, so be it. I'll go down with the plane. I'll go down with the boat. But you have to stand steadfast behind these things and stop shifting and shape-shifting to a social narrative with the expectation that someone's going to like you without being able to stand on conviction. I got to take this break. Guys, let me take this quick commercial break and be right back after this.
Bonneville Bones, established in 1970, is the leader in men's fashion in the Bahamas. We're conveniently located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza, and fully stocked with everything you need for all occasions. Our Harbor Bay location is one door north of Alive, with the black and white signage of Bonneville Boutique. Both locations are open from 10 to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Bonneville Bones and Bonneville Boutique, still the leader in men's fashion, located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza.
Make your mornings easy with the new breakfast bowls at Burger King Nassau. These delicious bowls are a complete breakfast in a convenient package for those on the run who want to enjoy the most important meal of the day, the BK way. Each breakfast bowl has all the breakfast fixings you love and comes in 3 tasty versions to choose from, including the classic, the Southwestern style, and the keto-friendly bowl. BK just made breakfast easier with the new breakfast bowls at Burger King Nassau, where taste is king.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Let me read a couple of these texts and then go to the telephone line here at 1:32 p.m. It says, all the best to him, which is the former prime minister, but I will not be buying that book. This is what they said. We have already found out too much about him and who he was already. Tell him to go home from our parliament. Good afternoon, Howard. Minus Minnis was a loss. He's done. Minnis gave Jack his last name. I don't understand what that even. Anyway, let me leave this. Let me leave this. Let me leave that alone. Y'all need to stop. You're texting indecency and it's too rich. So it says, "Hi Howard. Hi Howard. What's it with that y'all want? Y'all complain about the illegal shanty towns and now the government is doing something about it and y'all still complaining. Nobody cares about the organic Bahamians when they can't find any place to live. Don't play like you don't know what organic means." Growing out of the ground, right? Don't play like you don't know what organic means. If you are the only one who doesn't know, okay, I'm not gonna fight you. These are. I suppose that's the immigration issue with the shantytown, right? So it says, Dr. Minnis, a good man who had the toughest political hand. He needs better PR and real patriots. F&M's behind him, wishing him the best. This is a text is coming through. It says, I'm sorry. So it says, Minnis is no Pinling, nor Obama. He was undoubtedly published his memoirs on the advice of his PR advisors in an effort to generate the empathy required to cause Bahamians to look past the failings in his leadership so that he can mount a comeback. It will not work. It's a text is coming through. Let's just read it. It says, if putting someone with no experience, probably don't know an action garden tool, to being a director for 2 years, then it is very possible for Minnis to get a second term as prime minister. All this conversation, and we've continued to be able to eat vomit. Let's just be decent. So it says, that's right. That's the man who drive you from the F&M. I prefer Minnis too, Garth. This is the Texas.
What people saying, right? I ain't telling what I
say. Don't forget. Hey, Howard. Say, don't forget. Leeks and cucumbers. Okay, I'm not going to fight you. All right, so it says, good afternoon, Howard. I'm no fan of the former prime minister. However, I do believe it was a good interview and a great life story. How many times these people blast talk show hosts who interview Fred Mitchell, who never takes calls, text messages, or answers questions. All right, says, hey, Howard, good comment. Can't talk about brave travel lest we have brave working hard. We don't know what he was doing for 4.5 years. Howard, he didn't when he went to Brussels to check out that $12,000 bed. Jesus. Y'all stop it. He says, I don't care for Minnis, but he did what was the right thing to do during the COVID period. To bring humor to this conversation. I love steak. You just ruined it for me, right? Says, I will never ever order steak from Chinese again. I think it was the Japanese again in my life. It's a Texas conversation. Hello, Howard. I would recommend Bradwell. I suppose it's Branville. Branville, as you say, Bradwell. Branville McCartney for leadership of the afternoon. Not Loretta Turner Butler. She was a traitor, right? I disagree with you. So he says. He gave, we read that one already. Y'all need to stop, right? Hi, I will vote for Mr. Pintard before I vote for Dr. Minnis again. There's a text is coming through. Pinta doing too much talking, no action. There's a text is coming through. Howard, I listened to you all week. Please allow your guest to speak. You have been promised the PR in the office of the Prime Minister. Listen to me. Let me tell you something. Can I be decent when I say this?
I got a text too.
Can I say this? Can I be
ahead.
decent when I say this to you? Can I say this to you? When I sat down with Jeffrey Lloyd in his capacity as, but you know, he just left the Ministry of Education. Now he's sitting in this kind of position. We had a great interview talking about those things. In fact, he's going to have a book coming out. And so I'm sure he's going to call out to me and reach out to me. Howard, I'd like to talk about the book on the show. So it's not going to be a problem. But one of the things he said during his time that he sat with me about teachers, there are teachers who are qualified with master's degrees, with PhDs, so forth and so on, and their cap is around $30,000, $35,000, no more than $35,000 in this country. Public servants have a cap. Let's be very clear about it. Public servants have a cap. When you work in these particular capacities, and even if you contracted, the contract for 365 days can't sustain family. I just want to be as decent as possible. $28,000 is not sufficient. And this kind of a concept about a shaky contract being able to step in there, and as soon as you say something wrong, they ship me off to ZNS, is not good either. So no, I have not been promised anything. The conversation wasn't about anything having to do with an opportunity to be able to step in. I just want to be as transparent as possible because a lot of people speculate. They speculate and create these theories in their minds that this particular thing has happened. I am steadfast in my commitment to Guardian Radio. This is what I do. Talk to me.
And you've said that numerous times.
I've said that numerous times.
And you've invited me as a guest with the notion that we are sitting in their studio.
Even to you, who knows a little backstory, I have been accosted on a number of times.
Of course.
Okay, let's just be decent as we approach these particular things.
But Howard, I want to address this one comment, and I don't want people to misunderstand me. I know sometimes I speak over the heads of people. When I mention the word uniform having a significance, a uniform doesn't cause a student to learn. It has nothing to do with their academic level. But it has everything to do with morale, everything to do with feeling as if you're a part of something greater. And so all we said was that if the uniform is being worn, it would make the police feel a morale boost.
I don't think
I mean, I'm just saying it doesn't have to happen. It has
Bradford
nothing to
didn't
do
do that when he was in uniform.
But I'm talking about when you made mention of the Prime Minister wearing a uniform. Is neither here or there what I'm saying to you. But if I was an officer and I see my Prime Minister wearing one of our uniforms, like how we saw Bishop Lawrence Roll when he became a reserve police officer.
Absolutely.
Everyone was excited about that. It was a good moment. That's all I'm simply saying. The country needs a good moment. It's not picking up a gun and bullets and firing back.
No.
All I'm simply saying is we're looking for a good moment. The police are working hard. They're doing an excellent job. But everyone needs a morale booster sometime or another. That's all I'm simply saying. And to wear the uniform, you got to be here. You can't be across the world wearing the uniform. All I'm simply saying is you got to be here. And then, Howard, I want to say something else, And I want to thank you and Guardian and the sponsors for allowing me to be on your show as a regular guest. But it's amazing, Howard, how people now engage myself as if they want us to be loyal to their political organization. They want us to think the way their organization wants them to think. Listen to me very carefully. The one thing, like Howard, that I've been subject to is being left in the wilderness by both the PLP and the FNM. There's been no offer to me. No one has asked me, God, do you need anything? No one has asked me, did you have any breakfast, lunch, or dinner? No one has asked me how you're paying your bills. No one asked me when it's the last time I've been fishing. No one has asked me those questions. When I sit here behind this mic, I'm simply sitting here at the benevolence of Guardian, Howard Grant, and you, the Bahamian people, to simply share with you what I am hearing and experiencing on the street. And every now and then, I put my opinion in because I figure I need some type of compensation for being here. That's it. So don't call me telling me, God, you should, or God, use one of us. I cannot be one of you if you ain't feeding me. It ain't no we. You got, I don't have. So no we. It's you, and then it's me. And guess what me is doing? Me is taking care of me. And guess what, Howard Grant? I'm so glad to be a Bahamian because I don't have no complaint. I eating good. I got my own T-bone steak, and ain't no Japanese steak I got. I got some good Texas, some of that porterhouse steak in my house. I eat lamb chop. I got chicken and chicken wings and that turkey. I eat that
Japanese steak, sir.
So guess what? I'm healthy. I've been to the doctor, and the doctor said I'm 110% healthy. I eat healthy. I live healthy, and guess what? I love healthy. I love everyone around me. But don't ask me for $5 like I tell people. If I don't have no income, I sure ain't got no outcome. So don't ask me about my income, because I ain't giving you no outcome. And that's just the way it is.
You're getting heavy. Ladies and gentlemen, the lines are wide open. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the family violence, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. The text lines are going crazy. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead. Next caller. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Hey, Howard.
Hey, what's up, Anton?
That's my boy.
Oh, you keep talking about these lines wide open, right? But you won't come into these lines, man.
I was reading the text. I had 8,000 texts before me.
Look, yeah, no, I'm talking about today. I wanted to hop in on your conversation from yesterday.
What you mean with the Prime Minister? With former Prime Minister?
Absolutely. When you
I opened the lines yesterday when he was with me.
No.
Okay.
No. Not with former Prime Minister Minnis.
Okay, you mean after?
I listened to that conversation as well, but I was listening on the backside when you started the same conversation about PM Davis putting on the uniform, et cetera, et cetera.
Let me hear input.
But nonetheless, I gonna fight you today. But then again, go on a good note.
I appreciate that. I like a good squabble and then a hug.
Let me have 3 minutes.
Listen, I like a good squabble and then a hug. I like it. Let's go.
God, how you do it?
Let's go.
Let me listen to this 3 minutes. Let's
now,
go.
Look here. I understand your perspective as it relates to what you were suggesting in the bigger picture with PM Davis putting on the uniform and taking complete whole of the reins, right? As it relates to leading the charge in the fight on crime. I understand your perspective
Commander-in-Chief, yeah.
very well. I also understand very well where Garth was coming from, in particular with what Garth last uttered as it relates to why he's on the show with you, and thanks to the audience being lent to him by the Guardian and the management of the Guardian. I understand that, and I agree with what Garth is saying wholeheartedly, because we have to do better in this country as it relates to how we treat our people, right? We must do better. There's no question about that. All right, that's something that we came to office promising we would do, but we have yet to do, quite frankly speaking, right? When you examine the nuts and the bolts. But getting on this conversation with PM and crime, I also believe that the Prime Minister Davis, has been doing all that he can as it relates to not overshadowing or not seeking to trample on the constitutional position of persons who has been appointed to lead the charge in their fight against crime. Right? The Prime Minister, as the Minister of Finance, has released the finances and has caused for the resources to be made available. Right? The Prime Minister, if you don't recall, Howard, last week he led a major crime press conference at the Royal Bahamas Police Force headquarters, right? Where he didn't seek to overshadow the authority, the constitutional authority of the Commissioner of Police. And the Commissioner of Police was able to lay out the plans and call on his various heads to inform the Bahamian people what they are going to be doing moving forward, how they're going to increase and take the fight in a more powerful way to the persons committing crime. And so Howard, I believe it's unfair to say that the Prime Minister is not doing all he is supposed to be doing. Now, I understand, and let me just dig right in right here with the comment that someone introduced relating to the former Minister of Immigration, Granville McCartney, right? Look, when Granville took to the streets, joining his team members in fighting immigration, there was a small chant of persons who tried to rise up against him, but he actually raised a new standard. Quite frankly speaking, if I'm speaking honestly. He raised the new standard because while there was a small gathering of people chanting against him, there was a bigger chant of people chanting for what he had done. And if you recall, going further or digging more into history, when Ron Pender was Minister of State, he also did a similar thing where he got on board with the garbage collectors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in seeking to clean up the country.
Marathon.
And at that point, which was a different dispensation, the Bahamian people was fully on board at that time because it wasn't something that was newly introduced. Granville introduced it. Ron Pender carried it forward, and he was touted in newspapers, on the talk shows, everywhere. Everywhere in the country you go, people were talking so highly about politicians being hands-on. And so I believe there is some value to taking that part of the argument a bit further because it is morale booster, right?
Thank you.
And so in addition to PM doing all he is supposed to be doing, he is already out front, Howard, taking the bull by the horn. He is already leading the charge. I said that on your show maybe a week ago in our discussions when we got into the heat of the moment. I demonstrated how the Prime Minister is taking the charge from the legislative side of the coin by making amendments to the Bail Act. I demonstrate how he had a national address to the country. I demonstrated how he invited in his speech his comrades who are members of parliament throughout the entire country to submit their plans and visions to help with this fight. I demonstrated how the Prime Minister spoke to how he is empowering the commander of the Royal Bahamas Police Force and how the support of the commander and the commodore of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force is being used to galvanize in supporting the commander of the police force against the criminals in this fight. And so, Howard, I believe if we're being fair across the board, right, that is another niche that could be added. Yes, I do believe if people in the country saw PM Davis in
what do you think that I'll do for social morale?
In military regalia, seeking to take the charge to the street level, I believe that would send shockwaves to the country because
that's what I want to ask you.
Pardon me?
That's what I want to ask you. What do you think that'll do for the sort of a social morale and participation?
I believe that would motivate the Commissioner of Police even further because if you see the ultimate chief and commander of our entire country,
then you got to get involved too. Everybody got to get involved.
Get involved.
Everybody got to get involved.
That you're supposed to be dressed in. That would put even more heat under the commissioner to put more heat on his officers who are already fighting 24/7 on the front line. That would help to boost the morale, I believe, and it would help to increase and encourage persons at the community level to look here. We all got to do our part, and so I believe that could help. Right? I believe that could help, but still acknowledging at the same time Howard, God, and the nation.
I accept that.
That PM Davis is already taking the bull by the horn.
I'm not going to fight you.
Already leading the charge. In most of these interviews you see recently regarding crime, who are you seeing, Howard?
I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to fight you.
Who are you seeing? I'm asking you. I want you to tell me.
Yeah, I see the Prime Minister come to the forefront and being able to talk about these things.
It's the Prime Minister taking the lead and leading the bull by the horn.
I like that.
And so there's nothing wrong with adding a further dimension to the fight as you and God are suggesting, right? And you all are citizens, and it's your entitlement as citizens to make suggestions in the fight against crime that will help towards bringing a result, which is a reduction, a sustainable reduction, not only in crime, but also in all the other areas or all the other mechanisms that we need to come together in order to maintain the sustainable reduction.
I think you'd be excellent in the office of the Prime Minister. But you should take.
I thought this is excellency.
You should be in the office of the Prime Minister. You should go take.
In the name of Jesus.
Hey, listen.
Hallelujah.
Go.
His excellency.
Yeah, man. I'm train one that job.
Hey, I apologize for not meeting you for lunch as promised. I will do that. So before you ascend to that road, I better get my lunch appointment in. I don't want you to hold no grudge against me.
They don't know you when they're going off.
Let me just end by saying this. I want to encourage you, Howard. I want to encourage you to continue to speak freely as a Bahamian, as a citizen, as a nationalist. It is what is needed in this country. We do not need yes some men and yes, no women. That will not help this country to advance in the positive direction that we need in order to get this economic empowerment, in order to get control of crime, in order to advance this country so that all Bahamians can eat, right? And PLPs are Bahamians too, and PLPs need to eat as well. God, I want to continue to encourage you, my brother, to continue joining your brother in arms on his show, because you bring a different perspective that is also needed in this country. We need those voices at this time.
Thank you, man.
Thank you all for the opportunity, man.
Thank you, man.
Continue to do the great work. God bless you all.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I wanted to touch something, though. They started to talk about these things. The first time we saw this come to the very forefront without a uniform was A. Loftus Roker. Loftus Roker being able to take on that kind of challenge. Right? And he took it directly to his colleagues.
Powerful.
Within the cabinet of the Bahamas. This was the first time that we saw this.
But the one thing I want you to recognize, as powerful as Loftus Roker was, Loftus Roker, is that the authority lands in the lap of the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
I don't care how strong you are, what your portfolio is, all roads go back to the office of the Prime Minister.
Do I have any more commercial breaks? I have one more. Let me take this last commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Be right back. Read these texts and get your telephone calls. Forgive me. We're going to do this.
The foundation.
Struggling to repay your loan? Let us help you get back on track with payment terms that suits your financial situation and improve your credit score and credit report with the Bahamas Credit Bureau. Inquire about our restructured loans today. Call us at 356-7764.
Foreign Currency brings you the African Giant, live in concert, Burna Boy. Burna Boy performing live. Saturday, February 17, taking place at Clifford Park with Burna Boy performing live. Also performing Rich Homie Quan, 38 Afri, Joe Capone, Banksy Velli, Rati Pinder, Bloody, Fat Shot, Puzzle, Judah the Lion, and Jay Shepard. Hosted by Natural Empress, Rika C, Pencil, and Aaron Rain. Music by the country's top DJs, Overdose, DJ Tank, DJ Hennessy, DJ Mad Bull, AJ Unruly, DJ Melody. Spilling the Gate 2024. Saturday, February 17 at Clifford Park with Burna Boy. Get tickets now. The name of the game is to be on the scene.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go right to the telephone lines. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And God, let me inform you all and enlighten you all. Because you was young then. In the 80s, the Prime Minister, he was a bellman. Next year, he was cleaning up rooms.
Oh, you break it up. I remember the Prime Minister in the 80s was the bellman. What was the next one?
And he had cleaned up rooms.
And he was cleaning up rooms. Okay, so he was in the maid capacity also.
Yeah, and then Loftus Roker turned down Lady Pringle into Haitian gardeners.
Yes, I called Loftus Roker to him.
They were
Yes,
supposed to be here, and he turned them down. And LBT was kicked out of the FNM.
yes.
That's why she is a PLP now, because she warned them about him. She warned them about ministers. In fact, it's 7 of them. Out of 9, 7 MPs tell us about him. And then he proved to be, that's what he is. He's only a medical doctor. They don't run hospitals. They're not trained to run hospitals. They're trained to do their job and go home. But I have plenty of Jewish doctors. They buy with money. They can handle their own money. Their wife handle their office.
Oh, the Jewish doctors?
No, most doctors.
Oh, okay.
They handle their own office.
Okay.
So, because y'all are young, but ministers want to come back, but we want to Perry gone. That's why he went. He didn't even have the campaign. We wanted Perry gone, but Perry didn't build no bridge like he had promised us. And we gave him his 2 years, and that's why ministers.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me write this down. I can write this down and burn.
Please,
Burn.
I'm a man of history.
Bridge.
He didn't build the bridge.
He didn't build the bridge.
He tried to run again. He put some young. Remember that commercial? He put all the young talented young man. Say,
He ain't burn the bridge, but he threw away all the babies in the bad water.
He didn't build the bridge. He said, he could build the bridge to the future.
He said it's a bridge to the future.
And this is last time.
The bridge keep getting backwards, though. And he never moved towards the future.
Man, they just did that to Robin Dawn Lines the other day, old boy.
But then her?
Robin Dawn Lines, they were talking about the future, and she came on the scene with every hope that she was going to be the next chairman of the Progressive Labour Party, and they went back.
In the PLB,
yes,
you cannot fight the powers that be. You wait your turn. Now, Glennis could have been Deputy Prime Minister today if she didn't run for leader. Just a newcomer to the PLP. I know she's sorry she listened to her friends talking to running against Brave, but she could have been Deputy Prime Minister with all that power. Now, same power her daddy had. Eddie Hanna run things, you know.
My God.
Eddie Hanna and Auckland boys.
I gotta let you go.
And they run things. Pilling didn't run things like them. Eddie Hanna ran all the banks. He told all of the managers of the banks, do this or do that. When St. Andrews ain't want to let people in, he said he gave them 3 days to put black people in there, or he's shutting them down.
I appreciate your telephone call.
He got to be the first black students in that school.
I appreciate your telephone call, my brother. I got to let you go. I got 2 minutes before I get out of here. It says, you need to bring Anton and DeWitt on your show, and that will be a hot show, Mr. Grant. This is text coming through. It says, I am not a PLP. I speak as a historian. Sir Lyndon also dressed as and performed as a bellman at a local hotel during the time in office. Okay, yes, there's a text coming through. This is Howard and Garth. Mr. Minister says, no Donald Trump. Now the cards will show when the Republicans win the White House, the FNM will win the Parliament. But how could the Bahamians forget Tougie and Bobo and the Belgium embassy fiasco and giving the excessive monies to the fake NGOs and okay, let me just go to the next thing. You look like you're trying to get me
That's a show
canceled. You need to stop it, right? It says, so it says, how to listen to you all the week. Yeah, and then he says, the host of the revolution also said that he will never join the government. This is Texas. Y'all need to stop. He says, yes, Howard, you did lotion the former prime minister. Fair is fair. His book does not solve the national problems. Let's be honest. I never did. I never said that it did. I sit in the capacity of being able to host people.
They're calling you a massage therapist.
No. I sit in the capacity of hosting people. Yeah, if you write a book and you call me and say, Howard, I'll come on the show and talk about my book, come on. I didn't ask you what was your background, why you divorced 8 times. That ain't got nothing to do with your book unless you talk about why you've been divorced 8 times. This is good afternoon. Good day, brothers. Howard and Garth, the law enforcement agencies work for the state under the orders of the prime minister. So what do we do as a people when faced with national security issues? We can do better. Says we can do better. People, when faced with national security, we can do better with all boots on the ground.
All boots
on the ground, and with its leadership, if necessary. I support your suggestions for the Prime Minister. This is from Rudy in Grand Bahama. Thank you, my brother.
Hey, Rudy.
Let's see be able to do this. Howard, 2 questions. 1, what do you think is the root cause of such prevalent crime in the Bahamas? And 2, what do you think is the long-term solution? Root cause is being disenfranchised, segregation. No one talks about this. There are certain levels of segregation. People feel ostracized. That's one. And the root cause, being able to solve these things is 1, community and education. That's it. It has to be community. It has to be education. We got to get back to community.
Social dysfunction.
We got to get back to community. If we don't get back to community, all this is for nothing. Guys, that is the show today. It is 2:00 on the dot. I want to thank you so very kindly. He says, Howard, control Garth. I try to read every one of these texts. I don't want nobody call me and cuss me out. Howard, you read my text. You're scared to read my text.
Control me.
Howard, control Garth. Ask the texter who introduced Tougie. Oh, my God. Jesus, God. You all need to stop it. It's too much. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so very kindly for being able to tune in with us today, 96.9 FM radio. Tomorrow, we're going to have a deep, deep dive into a great deal of things that's happening socially in this week. Tomorrow is a panel discussion, and we'll see exactly what we're going to do then, chop these things down. It's a beautiful day. 96.9 FM radio, maybe a little bit rainy outside, but, you know, we're here above ground 6 feet. We're going to see you tomorrow, God Spare Life, right here on Guardian Radio and The Foundation. Have a beautiful day, guys. See you tomorrow.
Foundation.